Hello friends, welcome you all. Today we are going to learn about the exercise number 4 of course ENTO 354 for the semester 5th, and the course title is Pest of Crops, Store Grain and Their Management. The exercise number 4 consists of the different major and minor insect pest of pigeon pea or red gram. So let us see which are the different pest of pigeon pea. In that there are the number of pests which infest the pigeon pea crop and causes a yield losses. In that some of the bugs, then some of the beetles and some of the lepidopteran pest which causes severe loss in the pigeon pea crop. The key pest of pigeon pea can be grouped into three categories, in that the flower feeding and flower and pod feeding, that is the lepidopteran pest, pod sucking, that is the hemipteran pest, and the seed feeding, that is the dipteran and hymenopteran pest. So let us see one by one. The first and the major pest of the red gram is red gram pod borer, and the species is Helicorpa armigera. This is the one of the serious and the polyphagous pest of the field as well as the horticulture crops. Here, the caterpillar is the damaging stage. The caterpillar shows the number of color variations from early instar larva up to the late instar larva. The caterpillar make the small hole or circular hole on the surface of the pigeon pea pods and feed the inner content of the pods, that is the seeds or developing seeds. As a result of feeding, in case of severe infestation, the pods become shrivels and the number of circular holes we can see on the infested pods. Beside the pod feeding, this larva at an initial stage also feed on succulent leaves, then flower buds and the flowers also. As a result of feeding, in case of severe infestation, the flowers are dropped down on the ground and causes a indirect loss. This is the red gram pod borer. The next one is a spotted pod borer, also called as maruca, and the species is Maruca vitrata. Here, this is also the lepidopteran pest, hence the caterpillar is the damaging stage. After the hatching from the eggs, the caterpillars or the larvae feed on the flower buds and the flowers by weaving, and also feed on seeds in the pods. As a result of feeding, in case of severe infestation, the infested fields shows a different damage symptoms due to the feeding of the maruca. In this slide, we can see here the weaving of the flowers occurs due to the continuous feeding of the by the larva of the maruca. Then the next pest is tur pod fly. This is the dipteran pest and the species is Melanogrammaza obtusa. The damaging stage is the maggots. The maggots, after hatching from the eggs, enter into the soft seeds and feed on them by making the pin head size hole on the pods. In this slide, you can see here, this is the pin head size holes which make by the maggots of the tur pod fly, and these maggots enter into the pods and feed on the developing grains, and the pupation is also occurs inside the that pods. In case of severe infestation, the pods become shrivels and the grains become unfit for human consumption, hence the yield is directly losses. Then next one is tur plume moth, also called as pod caterpillar, Exalastis atomosa, it is the scientific name. Here the moth is the very peculiar in their morphology. In this slide you can see here the moth which having the fork like wings is there. The caterpillar is also the one of the peculiar, that is the there is a hairy caterpillars and the hairy pupa we can also seen on the developing on the infested pods. The caterpillar makes the holes into the pod opposite to seed developing inside and then insert its head into the pods and feeds on the developing seeds. It means that this is also the pod feeding pest. The maggots, it is the caterpillars is enter or feed on the developing grains, and the grain become unfit for human consumption and the pod becomes shriveled. The next pest is that is the sucking pest. The pest is pod bugs. There are the two major species of the pod bugs which infest the red gram crop. Here, the both nymphs and adult are the damaging stages. Both nymphs and adults suck the cells up from the developing pods and cause the infested pods to become a shrivels and yield is directly losses. Then the next one is eriophyte mite. The species is Aceria kajani. This is the one of the non-insect major pest. The damaging stages is nymphs and adult. The both nymphs and adults suck the cells up from the leaves, and in case of severe infestation, the mosaic disease, the leaves become the chlorotic or the light green, and the most affected plant do not bear the flowers. And this pest is also act as a vector for the red gram sterility mosaic virus. So the yield is reduced by two ways due to the mosaic virus and due to the continuous their feeding. Then next one is a Coleoptera pest, that is the blister beetle. There are the two species, Litter species and Mylabrus pustulata. Here, the damaging stage of the blister beetle is only beetle, not a grub. The grub, it is a beneficial. The grubs, the female beetle lay their eggs in soils, and after the hatching from the eggs, the grubs is uh, emerge out, and the grubs is feed on the eggs of grasshoppers and locusts in the soil. Then the adult is the damaging stage. The adult, it is mostly feed on the inflorescence or the flower parts. As a result of feeding, in case of severe infestation, the plant become partial sterility occurs in the plants and yield is directly reduced. Then how we can manage the different major pest in pigeon pea through IPM techniques. In that, the first is why we need a IPM in the pigeon pea, because the several insects pest have the developed insecticides resistance in that pest. Then degradation of the natural enemies due to the continuous spraying of the different insecticides. Then secondary pest outbreaks. Then environmental pollution has become more persistent due to the use of the due to the excessive use of the chemicals. Then inputs on plant protection have increased enormously. So which are the different things included in the IPM techniques of the pigeon pea? In that, the first one is summer deep plowing. It is the best techniques. It is one of the cultural methods. Then sowing times, or we can adjust the sowing times. Then intercropping and mixed cropping, bird purchase, removal of weeds, forecasting and monitoring, use of ovicidal insecticides, use of some of the botanical insecticides. Then some of the bioagents we can also use. Then eco-friendly and safe insecticide also use, and need-based insecticide use, and the mechanical shaking of the plants in case of Helicoverpa armigera. Here, for the management of the red gum prod borer, we can install the sex pheromone trap with helilure to monitor the pest. Then the deep summer plowing is the one of the cultural methods. Then we can sown the jawar and the sunflower as an intercrop in the red gram. Then we can also use a or install the bird purchase to pick out the larvae from the infested fields. Then we can adjust the sowing times. Then collection and destruction of grown up larvae from the infested plants. Then in case of chemical control or curative measures, the HANPV, it is the one of the Helicoverpa armigera and nuclear polyhedrosis virus. It is one of the viral biopesticides mostly used against the Helicoverpa armigera. Then numerarily is the entomopathogenic fungus, and the Bacillus thuringiensis is the insect bacteria is also effective against the red gram pod borer. Then azadirachtin, it is the neem-based product or neem-based formulation available in market. We can also use this azadirachtin for the management of the red gram pod borer. Then these are the list of the some of the recommended insecticides in red gram against the pod borer. Then for the management of the spotted pod borer, the deep summer plowing and the bird purchase we can use. Then the collection and destruction of waved flowers along with the larvae and pupae. Then for the foliar applications, we can use a propanophos, methomyl or chlorantraniliprole. Then for the management of the pod fly, the early sowing may result in lower incidence of the pest. It means that adjustment of the sowings. Then These are some of the recommended insecticides against the red gram pod fly. Then for the management of the tour plume moth, basically we can use the Bacillus thuringiensis. It is very effective against the tour plume moth. Then these are some of the insecticides like a dimethoate, imamectin benzoate, indoxacarb, chlorantraniliprole, and the spinosad. Then for the management of the pod sucking bug, we can use a systemic insecticide like a thiamethoxam, imidacloprid, dimethoate, then acephate. Then for the mites, we can use acaricides like a dicophol or vegetable sulfur, and we can or we avoid the use of synthetic pyrethroids. Okay, thank you.